welcome to today's lesson in PHP programming. So far, we have looked at how to submit form and retrieve the form data. Today, we are going to look at how to create a MySQL database. So, to do this, we are going to go to PHP MyAdmin by going to localhost/PHP MyAdmin. And this is because I'm using XAMPP as a tool. And so if you are using XAMPP and following along, you can simply go to localhost/PHP MyAdmin, or when you open the XAMPP interface, you look at where you have MySQL, and then beside MySQL, you can click on admin, and this should open localhost/PHP MyAdmin, and you should have an interface that looks like this. And so to create a new database, I'm just going to click on new, and then whilst I click on new, you see that here we have database name, right? And so I'm going to give my database a name, and for the purposes of this course, I'm going to call my database clients. So let's go ahead and click clients here, and then I would click on the create button here, and so this immediately creates a database for me called clients. And we know that once we have the database, we should have a table in there to store the information that we are going to create. And so because this has the contacts of a person and some comments, I'm going to call my table inquiry. And so how many columns do I need? I need a column for first name, last name, email address, phone number, and then comments. So those are 5 columns, and so I'm going to go ahead and enter 5. Typically, if we were building something for an actual client, we would need an ID field, which will be the primary key. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to stick to what we have on the form and then see how it works. So I'm saying that create a table for me, call it inquiry, and then give me 5 columns. And so I hit, and then it will ask me to define the columns that I have asked for. So the first one is first name. And so what I'm going to actually do is that I'm going to go back to my VS Code and then actually copy exactly the names that I have for my post element. Again, this is just for consistency's sake, but you can choose to use any name that you want as long as you map it. But for consistency's sake, let us use the same name. So I'll go here, and then first name, for instance, I'm going to do what? Paste first name here. And because first name, what type of data would it be? I'm going to use a varchar. Varchar is the data type that can hold alphanumeric values. And so I'm just going to go ahead and then say that I expect a maximum of 200 characters for first name. Understand? So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for all the other fields, and then we can move ahead. So I'm done creating my various fields. So you can see that first name and last name, I maintained the varchar. Email, I also did varchar. Phone number, I did varchar. But the comment, I did text, because text can hold large chunks of data, and then I set it to 500 because that's the maximum I expect my clients to submit. So depending on what you expect your clients to provide for you, you can change their values here, and that is very fine. And so once I am done with all of this, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and click on save. And once I click on save, you can see that a new table, a new inquiry table has been created under the client's database, and you can see the new table with the fields here. So this is how we create our database. So now we need to go back to our VS Code and see how we can link this database to our backend. In today's lesson, I believe that you would be available for the next lessons because it's going to be exciting connecting the database to the backend and actually saving the data from the form into the database. See you in our next lesson.